Today let us learn about Apurna Bhutkal. In English it is known as the past continuous or past imperfect tense. Now look at these sentences and tell me which part of this sentence tells you that it has happened in the past. There. Was and where. Was for singular, where for plural tells you that these are incidents which have happened in the past. Now, past tense can be of many forms. It can be past indefinite, past imperfect, past perfect. Now, what part tells you that it is continuous? The ing part, writing, making, giving, playing, that tells you that it is continuous. Now both of this together will tell you how the verbs look in the past continuous tense. Was writing, was making, were giving, were laughing, were crying. That is how your verbs look in the past continuous tense. That is all for English. Now we will go on and see how they look in Hindi. Now look at these sentences and tell me which part of the sentence tells you that these are incidents that have happened in the past. Tha for singular male, singular female, plural female. But then past tense can be of many forms. It can be imperfect, it can be perfect. Which part tells you that it is continuous? Singular male, singular female, plural female. Now comes the most important question. How does your verb behave in the past continuous tense? As we have discussed many times before, the verbs occur in base form. Be it in Hindi or in English, they always have a basic form. Like for example, in Hindi you have pad, lik, naach, has, ut, bet, and in English you have sing, dance, cry, laugh, sit, stand, and then depending on the time and the tense we change it. Crying, standing, running, we change it depending on the tense. But all of them have a base form. It is like a root of a tree. Just like you have a root of a tree, every verb has a root. Now our question is, how does it change when it comes to the past continuous tense? The answer is, it does not change at all. All you have to do is write the verb in its base form. Kha, lik, bana, khel, do, si, pi, whatever it is, write it in its base form and then add a rahata or rahete depending on who your subject is. Is your subject one singular male, one female, many males or many females? Depending on who is doing the work in your sentence, who is the subject, who is the karta, depending on that, choose one of this. But your verb form, what is it? Very simple. Just write the base form. Whatever is the root form, just write that. So if you are learning the Hindi Vyakaran, the Hindi grammar, past continuous or present continuous, they are all very easy. The continuous form is the most easiest form. Now here, shall I choose do? Do means to wash clothes. Here you have your 4 different verb forms in the past continuous tense. विमल कपड़े धो रहा था, प्रकाश और विजय कपड़े धो रहे थे, कमला कपड़े धो रही थी, कमला और विमला कपड़े धो रही थी. That's all. Now look at these sentences. You have to fill in the blanks with the past continuous form of these verbs. The verbs are in their base form, in their root form. Now you fill in the blanks with the past continuous form of these verbs. So what is the first thing that you have to find out? Who is the subject? Who is the one doing the work? And he will decide how your verb looks like. Darzi. Darzi is the tailor. The tailor is stitching the clothes. So darzi kapde si raha tha. Single male. Budiya guy, what? She is milking the cows. The cow is not the subject. Who is the one doing the work? It is the budiya. It is one woman. So, rahi थी, one single female. हम तमाशा देख, we were watching the tamasha. It is hum. It is what? It is plural. Male or female not given, so I will go for male. हम तमाशा देख रहे थे. बछड़ा दूध dash. The calf was drinking the milk. The calf, it is bachda, a male. So पी रहा था. Two men, दो आदमी नदी, two men were crossing the nadi, crossing the river. There are two men, so therefore पार कर रहे थे. Both of them were crossing. गाय जंगल में घास dash. The cows are grazing in the jungle. They are eating the grass and doing all that stuff. So it is गाय. गाय is what? It is female, but there are many female. So what will you write? चर रही थी. Look at the seventh sentence. वे स्त्रियां चरके. Charka is that spinning wheel. You would have seen in pictures and all, the one that Gandhi ji used to spin clothes, right? So they are spinning. But who is spinning here? It is many women. So रही थी. कल 7 बजे से पानी dash. From yesterday 7 o'clock it has been raining. The water is pouring. Pani baras what? Now who will decide what form this baras will take? What form this pour will take? What is pouring? The water is pouring. So the water will decide what form it will take. So what is water? Is it male or female? It is male. So pani baras raha tha. It's been raining. The water has been pouring since 7 o'clock yesterday. Satyamurthy ji गरीबों को चावल dash बांटना to distribute. So Satyamurthy ji, he is distributing चावल, rice to the poor people. Now this is just one single male, but see the word G. So obviously he is someone respectable. So we will treat him like plural, even though he is one single male. We will treat him like plural male and say बांट रहे थे. लड़कियां मैदान में गेंद dash. Many female. So what? खेल रही थी. Rahi is same for plural female and singular female. Then what will tell you the difference? This thi. If it is singular female, just put the. If it is plural female, remember to put the dot here. Now we will go on to the next section, but before that let me tell you one thing. When you see sentences like this, please note the vibhaktis. See here. Note these words. May, मैदान में, playing in the playground. So when you start talking in Hindi, these are the things that are going to help you. The words like in and on and to, you have to know how to use them. मैदान में, in the playground. So after the place comes the word में. And here you see गरीबों को चावल. So who is he giving it to? He is giving it to the garib. He is giving it to the poor. So whoever is receiving the action, after that place, after that person, you should put ko. Wherever the action is happening, after that you should put may. And here see, kal 7 baje se, from. So when you talk about a time period, from that time, from yesterday, from day before yesterday, so the word say. So when you see sentences, when you read sentences, please note these words, the may, the say, the nay and the ko. Then that will help you when you start talking in Hindi, inshallah. Now let us go back to the first set of sentences that we started this video with. We saw how the apurna bhutkal looked like, or in other words, the incomplete past. How does it look? We saw that. But then, how will the complete one look? How will it look if it is purna, or in other words, if it is perfect? Then how will it look? This is how it will look. Very easy, isn't it? Instead of raha, put chuka. Instead of rahi, you write chuki. Instead of rahe, you write chuke. They just change one word. Instead of raha, rahe and rahi, write chuka, chuke and chuki. It means finished. done. That work is done. It is just one word, change in just one word. But then there is a problem there. All these sentences they may be literally correct, but they are grammatically wrong. Why is it? Let me tell you. Now look at these three sentences. All of them in past tense, all of them in bhutkal, all of them talking about incidents that had happened in the past. But there is a difference. Look at the first one. It is a samanya bhutkal. It is a simple, indefinite past tense. Why? Because this action of arriving, you don't get information whether he was arriving, whether he has started the action, whether he had finished the action. You do not know anything. All you know is that he did the action. No extra information. Now look at this. It is apurna. It is a not complete. It is continuous, which means the action has started. Raj ghar aa raha tha. Raj was arriving. He was in middle of doing that action. He had got down from the taxi. He was taking the suitcases out. He was in middle of the action, but he has not yet finished it. Now look at the third sentence. It is purna. It is not apurna anymore. It is not incomplete anymore. It is purna. It is complete. It is perfect. Why? Because he has finished that action. That action of arriving he has finished. Now, if I tell you Raj had arrived, you will ask me, then what? Why did you say Raj had arrived? You could have just said Raj arrived. Why the word had? So when we use the word had, it is usually when we express a condition or a result, when we are talking about a sequence of events or one action that has happened before or after the other. The first two sentences make perfect sense on their own. Raj arrived, Raj was arriving. There is nothing more to add. But when I use the word had, you will be waiting for me to tell you about some other event that has happened. What happened after he had arrived? You need a sequence of events. You need one more event. What if I say, now does this make sense? Now we are talking about a sequence of events. We are talking about events that influence each other or that may have a connection with each other. Now Raj had arrived before the train left. That means what? Raj could get the train. He did not miss the train. That is good news. Now look at this sentence. Raj ghar aa chuka tha is right. It is literally correct. But grammatically, if I tell you Raj ghar aa chuka tha, you will ask me, then what? Is there anything else you want to add? Then I will tell you, Kamala ke jaane se pehle. Before Kamala left the house, Raju ghar aa chuka tha. So Raj and Kamala could meet each other. So these are a sequence of events which have a connection to each other. That is what the perfect tense is about. You see the difference between the Purna Bhutkal and the Apurna Bhutkal? Aa raha tha, aa chuka tha. Just that difference. Was arriving, had arrived. So for one you have the helping verb was, for the other one you have the helping verb had, and here raha and chuka is the only difference that you will make. Now we will see some more sentences in perfect tense, and let me tell you, it does not have to be another incident. It can even be a time. Even a time is enough. Let me show you an example. Now this is also fine. Raj had arrived home by midnight. Giving a time is also fine. 2 baje tak Raj ghar aa chuka tha. By 2 o'clock he was in the house. By midnight Raj had arrived home. Now we will see some examples of Purna Bhutkal. These are some examples of past perfect tense. In each one of these sentences you will see a sequence of events, which means one event happening after other, one event happening before the other. Look at the first sentence. Doctor ke aane se pehle mareez mar chuka tha. The patient had died before the doctor arrived. That means what happened first? He first died, and then the doctor arrived. 5 baje tak mehman aa chuke the. What finished first? The guests, the mehman had all come. By 5 o'clock they have all come, which means what? They started coming at maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock they started coming, and by 5 o'clock 5 बजे तक सारे मेहमान आ चुके थे. Then what? आंधी आने से पहले बरसात हो चुकी थी. बरसात finished, the rain finished. It was only after it rained that the storm started. आंधी आने से पहले बरसात हो चुकी थी. अध्यापक के आने से पहले बच्चे जा चुके थे. So what is the act which is finished? बच्चे जा चुके थे. All the children had left the school. It was only after that the अध्यापक came. Now look at these 4 sentences. They all talk about the same thing. What? से पहले, before. So you use the chukata. Here you use chukata for who is this mar chukata? Who is the one dead? Is it the doctor or the maris? The maris is the one who is dead. So it does not matter whether the doctor is male or female. The maris mar chukata. The maris is male and he has died. And mehman aa chuke the. Mehman is what? Guests. Lot of them. That is why we say chuke the. If it was just one man, we would say ja chuka tha. And here barsat is female, so we say barsat ho chuki thi. And bacche again plural, so we say bacche ja chuke the. So you see the difference here in the first 4 sentences. You notice the word se pehle, and in the last 2 notice the word ke baad. Baad means after, so the sentence itself changes. How does it change? Here, what happened first? मेरे जाने के बाद, after I left, then it rained. So what happened first? Me going. That is what happened first. And after that, the rain happened. Here, what is the first thing that happened? उसके station पहुंचने के बाद. After he reached the station, it was only after that the train came. The train came after he had arrived at the station. So what is happening first? Him reaching the station, me leaving the house. That is the first thing that happens. So in that case, even without the chuka form, you can write it like this. मेरे जाने के बाद बरसात हुई, उसके स्टेशन पहुंचने के बाद गाड़ी आई. Now it's time for us to wind up our class. What did we start with? We started with the Samanya Bhutkal, or the simple past, or the indefinite past. It talks about incidents that have happened at the past, but you do not have any information about them. It is simple, it is samanya, it is general. You don't know if the act was happening, was it finished. You have absolutely no knowledge about it. Please check the description box. I'll give the link there. I have done an entire video on the Samanya Bhut. And then what did we study? We studied about the Apurna Bhutkal, which is what? Continuous or imperfect past tense in English. At the time of speaking, the act was still happening. The guests were still arriving. They had not finished arriving. There were still 2 or 3 people still left to come. So what do you know from that? The act was still happening. It had started. It was continuous, but then what? It was imperfect. It was apurna. It was not purna. It was not perfect. It had not finished. In English, you will know it with the ing form, and in Hindi, you will know it with the raha, rahe, rahi form, depending on what? Depending on your subject. If your subject is male or female, singular or plural, depending on that, your raha, rahe, rahi will change. Your was or where will change in English. Then, what was the last thing we learned? Perfect, purna. It is finished. It is perfect now. How do you know that? Chuka, chuke, chuki form. And the rest of everything in the sentence is same for purna and apurna. Vah ga raha tha, vah ga chuki thi. Everything else will be same except for this form will change. Now you can just write it like this. The guest had arrived. It's perfectly fine. The sky is not going to fall down. But often people tend to get confused between the guests arrived and the guests had arrived. What is the difference? Usually once this work is finished, we talk about something else that happened. So your sentence will have two parts of the information given. One which is perfect, which comes in the perfect past or the Purna Bhutkal, and another part of the sentence will be there which will be in the simple past or the Samanya Bhutkal. For example, you have two things happening, one of which is perfect, one of them is finished. The guests had arrived. All the guests had arrived. Each and every one of them in the guest list, they were all there. Then what happened? The clock struck 5. So two things happening, same in Hindi. Mehman aa chuke the, finished, they are all here. Then the clock struck 5. So what did we learn today? We learned how to use the chuka, chuke and chuki. The verb conjugation is exactly the same as raha, rahe, rahi. We use the same form of the verb, but then the meaning is completely different. One talks about an action which is happening, which is continuous, but this one talks about an action which is what? Perfect or purna. So that's all for today. Till I meet you again, you take care. Assalamu alaikum.